KICI-LP 105.3 FM is Iowa City's nonprofit local radio station. We rely on listener support, and you can help us continue to air great programming like Democracy Now!, Great Taste, Green Room IC, The Situation Room, and This Way Out by making a one-time donation or setting up a recurring donation at our website, KICIRadio.org. Just click on the donate button and become part of the team. KICI-LP. Low power, high impact.
Up next on the Green Room IC, director and cast from A Christmas Story talk to Beverly Mead about Iowa City Community Theater's upcoming stage play. Joining Bev in the virtual Green Room IC were Susan Fuhrmeister, Craig Jarvie, Cooper McGowan, Parker McGowan, Jeffrey Allen Mead, Vasilios Mihalopoulos, and Jocko Motyko. This interview was recorded using Zoom on November 19th, 2023.
And there are actually a couple of scenes in the play that were drawn from the original short story that weren't in the movie.
The old man, who is Ralphie's dad, the old man, I think he's one of these people where his aspirations and ambition exceed his abilities, but that doesn't stop him.
Ralphie and Randy's mother. She's somebody who I really think is kind of in charge of the family. She sort of wears the pants in the family, keeps everybody grounded. But I think she also allows her husband with his antics and that to maybe think that he's a little bit more in charge than he is.
And eventually I get to see Santa, and I keep saying Santa, Santa because I'm so excited, but then I get scared because I realize that I'm just scared. I don't know how to say it, but then I freak out and pee all over him.
Hi, and welcome to the Green Room IC on KICI-LP Radio, 105.3 FM in Iowa City. I'm Beverly Mead, your host. This program is KICI Radio's way of showcasing the entertainment industry in the Iowa City area by bringing local actors, comedians, singers, and organizations to your attention. Lend an ear and find out what Iowa City has to offer. My guests today are Jeffrey Allen Mead, director of Iowa City Community Theater's upcoming production of A Christmas Story, and cast members Craig Jarvie, Susan Fuhrmeister, Cooper and Parker McGowan, Vasilios Mihalopoulos, and Jocko Motyko. Welcome. Our audiences always like to know who's behind the mic, so won't you each please tell us a little bit about yourselves, such as where you're from, how long you've been involved with ICCT, how long you've been involved in theater in general, etc. Jeffrey, let's start with you.
I don't know what all to say other than I've been with ICCT since 1994. I can't even begin to tell you how many productions I've been in various capacities. This is my third show that I've directed.
Okay, very good. Craig, how about you?
Well, I'm a relatively latecomer to theater. I moved to Iowa City in '96 after living several places across the country, and took some improv comedy classes in 2017 and led to taking some short acting classes and got involved and auditioned for some plays and got cast in a few roles. So, just the last, 6 years I've been involved in theater, but really enjoy it.
All right. Vasily, how about you?
This is my first public play, and I am from Iowa. This is my first interview. I don't know what else to say.
That's good. That's good. Susan, how about you?
I have just been involved in theater just for right at a year. Like Craig, I'm pretty much a latecomer. Didn't join until I was in my 50s. I always thought it would be fun to do, but I'd always worked strange schedules, and so I auditioned for my first play just about a year ago, and now this will be my 5th play that I've done in just this last year, and I'm from here in Iowa City.
Very good. Cooper, how about yourself?
This is my first production with ICCT. I've been in one other musical and lived in Iowa my whole life.
Okay, very good. And Parker.
Well, like Cooper, I've lived in Iowa, North Liberty my whole life. I have been in many productions, but only for about maybe a year. And this is my first production with ICCT.
Okay, very good. Jocko, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I grew up in Iowa City. I've been doing ICCT shows since the 90s. Done a lot of other shows with other theater companies. Lived in Iowa City most of my life. I went to college for a while in Florida. Geez, I don't know. I work at a bank right now.
Interesting. All right. Jeffrey, for those few members of our audience who are not familiar with A Christmas Story, could you please give us a summary?
It's based on the 1983 movie of the same title, which was based on a couple of short stories by humorist Gene Shepard. It's about a young man who wants nothing more in life for Christmas than a Red Ryder BB gun. And all of the various ways in which he goes about trying to get said BB gun.
Okay. What brought you to want to direct it?
It was one of the shows that was listed on the selection committee's short list, and it's one that I had seen done elsewhere and enjoyed and thought would be fun for our audience and would work well with our space.
Okay, very good. How many people are there in the cast?
I was thinking about that earlier today, trying to make sure I had everything. I believe it's 14.
Okay. We have 6 of those cast members here with us today. Could you each please tell us who you play and a little bit about your character? Parker, let's start with you.
Well, I play Ralphie. He's the kid who wants the Red Ryder BB gun.
Okay. All right, Craig.
I play the old man who is Ralphie's dad, who interestingly is never named in the show, and it's because it's a memoir of an adult. And looking back, he didn't ever call his dad by his name, and so I think that's why. And the old man, I think he's one of these people where his aspirations and ambition exceed his abilities, but that doesn't stop him. And he tries and tries, and his heart's in the right place, but sometimes kind of misses on the execution. And also, I think believes he's in charge when he's truly not really in charge. But again, he has good intent, but sometimes fails on the execution.
Okay, so Vasily, tell us who your character is and tell us a little bit about that character.
I am Randy, and I say I have to pee a lot, and eventually I get to see Santa, and I keep saying Santa, Santa because I'm so excited, but then I get scared because I realize that I'm just scared. I don't know how to say it, but then I freak out and pee all over him.
How are you related to Ralphie?
That I'm his little brother.
You're his little brother. Okay, very good. Let's see. I started with Parker. Let's go to Cooper. Who do you play now?
I also play Ralphie.
Okay.
Yeah, we're splitting shows. So, he's the kid who wants the BB gun.
Susan, can you tell us who you play?
Sure. I play Mother, which would then be Ralphie and Randy's mother. She's somebody who I really think is kind of in charge of the family. She sort of wears the pants in the family, keeps everybody grounded, but I think she also allows her husband with his antics and that to maybe think that he's a little bit more in charge than he is. But she does keep everyone grounded in the family and keeps their house running.
Very good. Jocko, can you tell us who you portray in the show and tell us a little bit about that character?
Yeah, I portray Ralph. He's the older Ralphie. It's kind of a memory play where he's looking back at the probably one of the most pivotal Christmases of his life, and he's the older version of Ralphie. He loves Christmas. He's got a real soft spirit, I think. And you can tell that he loves his family and everything, and interesting guy and all that stuff. Then,
all right, so you're the adult version of Parker and Cooper's Ralphie.
Yep, that's correct.
Very good. Now let me ask you this: how has it been playing the older version of yourself when just one or the other of Parker or Cooper is on?
I like it. You get to see the different kind of styles that Parker and Cooper deliver when they're on stage. It's really interesting. I've never had it where you're swapping out actors in and out of scenes, so it's kind of cool. It's enjoyable seeing what each one can help deliver on stage and everything.
Okay, very good. Cooper and Parker, how are you two related to each other in real life? And how did it come about that you're playing the same character in the show?
We're twin brothers.
Yeah.
Are you twin brothers?
Yeah.
All right, very good. And you both play Ralphie.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, we had both auditioned for Christmas Story.
Okay.
And
yeah, we had both auditions, and when we were waiting to get callbacks, apparently Jeff had said that he had liked both of our auditions so much that there was a chance that we would both get the role, but we would just split off days performing.
That's a great idea. So Jeffrey, tell me, in which performances does Cooper play Ralphie, and in which ones does Parker play him?
So Cooper will play Ralphie on December 1st, 3rd, and 9th. And Parker will play the role on the 2nd, 8th, and 10th. Yeah.
Very good. All right.
Right.
We'll make sure to repeat that at the end. Who designed your set, Jeffrey, and who's in charge of the construction of the set?
Oh, my savior, Rich LeMay, is the set designer for this show, and he definitely bit off a big mouthful. It is a huge set, and he has pulled it together beautifully. It's not 100% done yet, but we're getting real close, and I couldn't be happier. He has pulled together a great crew of folks, and they have all just worked like troopers to get it done.
Wonderful. Now, the movie version of this show is very elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
To do this as a live stage production, were there any accommodations that needed to be made to the set or the show itself? And what did you have to do to make it work?
I'll be honest, it's been a year at least since I watched the movie, because I deliberately didn't want to get too bogged down in trying to replicate it word for word, although the script is pretty darn close.
Okay.
Obviously there are a couple of scenes that logistically just wouldn't be as possible to do on a stage. And there are actually a couple of scenes in the play that were drawn from the original short story that weren't in the movie as well. So there's a couple little things going both ways. A couple little moments got yanked out of what would have been the movie, and a couple of things got added in.
Okay, very good. Who's your costumer? I'm assuming you're playing this as a period piece, correct?
Yes, we are. Rachel Singley is helping out with coordinating costume items. We've also got some pieces coming from some of the surrounding theater companies that we're borrowing, to make sure we have everything covered and everybody covered.
It's always good to have everybody covered.
Yes.
Where is this show being produced?
We're doing the show at the 4-H Fairgrounds, South Riverside Drive, just south of the Iowa City Airport, building A, at the 4-H Fairgrounds.
Okay, very good.
It's also been called Exhibition Hall at various times over the years.
Well, that's what it says above the door, but yeah.
And there's a fairly faded Iowa City Community Theater sign on the side of the building that also will hopefully catch people's eye and draw them to the door.
Okay, very good. For those like me, it's important to know, is the ICCT facility handicap accessible?
Yes, it is.
Very good. Now, because of the damdemic, and yes, I said that intentionally, theaters have encountered many difficulties over the past few years. While things have eased up recently, Jeffrey, what have you been doing to keep your cast and crew safe?
Honestly, there really hasn't been a whole lot. A couple people have held out of rehearsal if they didn't feel that they were feeling 100%, or if they were around people who weren't feeling great. A couple people have worn masks a couple nights if they were feeling a little sniffly or whatever. But yeah, there really hasn't been a whole lot of specific, organized, coordinated plan toward that.
Okay. Will masks be required for audience members during the performances?
Not required, but you're certainly welcome to wear one if you feel the need.
Okay, very good. Now, obviously, several of your cast members are younger.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been doing with their rehearsal schedules that their parents have either requested or you have suggested to them be done in order to make sure they're not out too late at night during the weekend?
Didn't really have any specific requests, other than there were a couple of individuals who had various school-related conflicts that we did obviously work around. I tried in my scheduling to cluster all the scenes involving the younger individuals to one night a week, or at most 2 nights a week, to try and keep them focused for one thing, but also to give them time to do all their other school activities, homework, et cetera, and so that they're not also having to be out there all the time. And rehearsals really didn't, until the last week or so, rehearsals really didn't go past 8:30 or 9 at the latest. We did have one that ended up going to 10 this last week, just simply because we had to push through to finish the act. But other than that, like I said, I've been trying very hard to make sure that rehearsals didn't go super late for that very reason.
Okay. So Vasily, Parker, and Cooper, would you agree with what Jeff said about the schedules being the kind that would take care of your needs as well?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
usually don't go too late.
All right. Jeffrey, what are the run dates, including curtain times for each performance?
The show runs December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 8th, 9th, and 10th. The Friday and Saturday evening performances start at 7:30. The Sunday matinees start at 2 p.m.
Okay. How would you rate this show? This is an interesting question for this particular show. How would you rate this show if you need to, with regard to how appropriate it would be for younger viewers?
Oh, I would rate it G. It's very kid friendly. I maybe wouldn't bring a tiny toddler just simply because they might not understand or enjoy it as much.
Or
But
be able to sit still. Yeah.
right. So I would say 6 and older, maybe.
Okay. Very
I can
good.
weigh in a little bit on that. The old man, he spews forth a lot of pseudo expletives, but they're cleaned up. So
Yeah,
I don't
there's no actual language.
Right. I don't know from the memoir if the old man in real life actually used other words, or this was sort of changed for the memoir, but it's pretty entertaining, the creative ways he comes up with swearing without swearing.
Very good. Very good.
It's very
Cinnamon biscuit.
Yeah, dog nap cinnamon biscuits. Sorry, Jeff.
Dog blame it.
Yeah. All right. Well, sometimes people need to plan on babysitters, dinner reservations, rides to and from the theater, so that they might plan appropriately about how long will the performance last.
And that's a really good question. We have not actually done a full run of the whole show beginning to end yet. We've only done like an act at a time, but multiple times. But I would guess, based on the last couple of nights, 2.5 hours plus 10 to 15 minutes for intermission. So
2.5 plus intermission.
Correct. Might be a little bit less than that once we tighten up some, transitions and things like that. But yeah, I imagine the first act is about hour and 15, and the second act is about an hour.
Okay, very good.
Right.
How would someone go about purchasing tickets?
Easiest way is to visit our website, www.Iowa City Community Theater. That's theater with RE because we're pretentious. .org. You can also find us on social media, and that'll direct you back to the website, or you can call the box office at 319-338-0443.
Very good. All right. Again, A Christmas Story is being produced at Iowa City Community Theater at the Johnson County 4-H Fairgrounds on Fridays and Saturdays, December 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th at 7:30 p.m. and on Sundays, December 3rd and 10th at 2 p.m. For those wishing to see one Ralphie versus the other, Cooper will be playing Ralphie on December 1st, 3rd, and 9th, and Parker will be playing Ralphie on the 2nd, 8th, and 10th.
Right.
Well,
tag team in the role. I like it.
That's right. Well, it's time to draw the curtain on this episode. Thank you all for being here today. This has been a lot of fun. I hope we get to do it again sometime. And thank you, audience, for listening. And please join us next time on the Green Room IC. If you know of anybody or any organization you would like to have showcased on the Green Room IC, contact us. Our email address is greenroomic at KICIRadio.org, or you can contact me directly at bev@KICIRadio.org.
The Green Room IC is an original production of KICI Radio in Iowa City. The host for this episode is Beverly Mead, with production by Craig Jarvie.